your electric cooperative. We're more than just a power provider. Being member-owned, we deliver safe, reliable, and affordable power while enhancing the lives of those we serve. Our members don't just use the electricity we provide, they have a voice in everything we do. Hi, I'm Cassie Cunningham. From all of us here at White River Valley Electric Cooperative, we appreciate you taking the time to learn about some important issues you'll be voting on this year. As you might remember, we formed the Bylaws, Governance, and Engagement Committee, comprised of both White River employees and board members. The committee's work is ongoing, and we continue to look closely at the rules that govern what we do at the co-op each day. This year, we're presenting 3 new bylaw amendments to you, our membership, for a vote. We want to make sure you're informed to make smart choices. So let's break down each of these 3 amendments. As member owners, you have a say in the business operations of White River Valley Electric, and your participation in the co-op is vital to our success. Your most important right and responsibility as a member is to vote. Voting for who will represent you on the board of directors and voting for governance policies that oversee co-op operations. Amid the unknowns of the pandemic, Governor Parson granted a waiver allowing cooperatives to use safe alternative meeting formats. As a result, White River held our first virtual meeting, and it was a hit. Not only did we cut meeting costs, but when members could vote online and by mail prior to that meeting, more members voted than ever before. In fact, we've doubled the number of votes from our best in-person meeting. We get it. Saturday mornings are full of errands and honeydews and family activities. Sometimes it's just impossible to attend annual meeting in person. Last year's level of participation told us that we need to rethink how we do things and make annual meeting more convenient for all members. In order to conduct official business at annual meeting, we need a quorum. A quorum is simply the minimum number of members needed for us to legally conduct business. Right now, that quorum must be present in person. You see the problem, right? In order to have an online meeting option in the future, after special legislation expires, our committee suggests that we establish a quorum by including the ballots received during the voting window prior to annual meeting. We appreciate the time you take to learn about candidates and amendments before you cast your vote. That's why it's important to allow your ballot to count towards quorum. With this amendment, if you vote, you're counted as participating in annual meeting as part of that quorum, even if you can't join us the day of the meeting. So, for our first recommended bylaw change, you'll be asked, are you in favor of utilizing membership votes and removing the in-person requirement for establishing quorum at the annual meeting of members? By changing the way we reach a quorum, it allows us to permanently have multiple options for how we meet in the future, virtually and in person. This allows more members to participate in the co-op. And does that mean we won't gather in the future? Absolutely not. But it does mean that we can continue to have a hybrid meeting option that accommodates all members. And not only does it make annual meeting more accessible, it's also a huge cost savings to our membership. If you agree and vote yes for future virtual or hybrid meetings, we need to amend Article 3, Meeting of the Members, a step further. Every year, the board sets a date and time for annual meeting. Our bylaws require us to give you, the members, proper notice of that meeting so you can make plans to attend. We communicate that meeting date in many places, but our bylaws state that we must mail out that meeting notice. Quite honestly, many members have already chosen paperless communications, and we appreciate that. All that postage adds up, and we like being able to save money for our members any way we can. Needless to say, this bylaw is a little out of date. We suggest adding electronic notification.
You've got mail.
As means of announcing annual meeting. So if you've chosen to go paperless and provided an email address to the co-op, we will email your meeting notice to you. And of course, if you do still prefer paper communications by traditional mail, nothing will change. We're also asking you to modify the order of business for annual meeting to ensure we have a universal format that works for both in-person and virtual meetings in the future. Currently, our bylaws call for us to read meeting notices and past year's meeting minutes. When we meet in person, a member can motion to skip these readings, and we usually do. But with a virtual meeting format, we suggest removing these reading requirements. After all, these notices and minutes are available to review in multiple places ahead of annual meeting and when you have time. We'd much rather spend valuable meeting time providing you with the information you've requested and may not have access to 24/7, 365, like what's listed on the website and members-only portal. And speaking of the information you want, our committee also suggests changing the wording of the last order of business in the meeting from new business to member communications. This change will help to address important topics that you have raised before or at the meeting that you'd like the board to consider. Your ideas can be presented even if you're unable to attend, which makes your cooperative more accessible than ever. And remember, we're open for new business every day through our Member Alliance program. And then to close, we'll wrap up the meeting with everyone's favorite door prizes. So for our second recommended bylaw change, you'll be asked, are you in favor of allowing the cooperative the flexibility to hold virtual annual meetings at a date and time set by the board with proper notice and adjusting the order of business for virtual meetings? As the world changes, so does our co-op. A yes vote on these amendments allows us to keep up with changing technology and have a universal format that works for whatever type annual meeting we have in the future. Additionally, your yes vote on these amendments helps the cooperative not waste money. And in turn, we're able to pass those significant cost savings right back to you, members who own the cooperative. Our third and final proposed amendment introduces new qualifications for our board of directors. As you know, White River is governed by a board of 9 directors who are elected by their membership to represent your voice in how the co-op operates. Our directors make very tough, very important decisions for the co-op. They also enter legally binding contracts on behalf of White River. We want to make sure that our membership chooses from well-vetted, upstanding members of our community. But don't take my word for it. When we ask what you'd like to see in a board member, here is what you said. Danielle from ProTem would like someone approachable. Robin from Hollister wants a board with integrity, while Sam thinks they should be trustworthy. And Joanna, she's looking for someone who can see the big picture. To ensure we only have the best people handling cooperative business, our committee suggests we exclude members from running for the board who may have been convicted of a felony or a crime of moral turpitude. These are crimes like embezzlement, fraud, stealing, forgery, or robbery. After all, we're entrusting our directors with the financial assets of the co-op. These are your assets as members. It just makes sense. Next, as part of our due diligence, the Bylaws, Governance, and Engagement Committee looks at best practices and bylaws from other organizations as well. In doing so, we're also suggesting to add that a board candidate may not have worked at the cooperative or had a close family member work at the cooperative in the last 5 years. This is a common best practice across many industries. It helps to rule out potential favoritism and promotes board candidates being fair and unbiased. Finally, our board has rules in place to govern themselves as well. Board members must follow cooperative policies, or they can be formally reprimanded or censured. As part of this amendment, we suggest that if an incumbent director has been censured for intentional policy violations more than once, they would no longer be eligible to serve on the board. Our final bylaw change will ask, Are you in favor of clarifying Board of Director qualifications and election? Electing the right Board of Directors starts with having the right people to run for the board. White River has been fortunate to have board members throughout the years who have integrity and truly want to serve their districts. Voting yes for this amendment ensures we will continue to have the best people for the job well into the future. At White River Valley Electric, everything we do has our members in mind. After all, you're not just customers, you own and control the cooperative. Your yes vote for these 3 amendments will encourage member participation and transparency, ensure we have the best of the best leading our co-op, and help implement up-to-date practices that'll drive our cooperative's future. We encourage you to read the complete amendments on our website as you get ready to vote. Thank you for taking the time to engage with your electric cooperative. And don't forget to join us as we announce voting results at annual meeting on September 11th.